In this lesson, you'll prepare for an EQ IELTS formula mock test with your trainer.
In the self-study that follows, you'll
review EQ IELTS formulas,
learn how to give good answers to IELTS Part 1 warm-up questions,
master useful native speaker words and phrases about the common IELTS Part 2 and Part 3 topic, wealth, money and business.
Once you've completed the self-study for this lesson, you'll then have a mock IELTS interaction with your trainer in which Parts 1 and 2 will be based around the topic wealth, money and business.
Let's move on to review some EQ IELTS formulas.
Remind yourself of the 31 EQ IELTS formulas by looking at the table below. Then move on to the exercise that follows to practice using these formulas to answer common IELTS speaking test questions.
Now, move on to the following exercise to test your understanding of the 31 EQ IELTS formulas.
Good afternoon. Do you have a mobile phone or an MP3 player with you?
Yes, I have a mobile phone here in my pocket.
Right. Well, could you please leave it outside with the supervisor? You know that mobile phones are not allowed in the test room.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. Now can you come and take a seat, please?
Okay.
First, I've got to record some details into this player and then we can start. This is the speaking module for the International English Language Testing System on the 12th of January 2009 in Jinan. The candidate is Xu Bing. The candidate number is 009987 and the interviewer is Michael Williams. Now, can you tell me your full name, please?
My name is Xu Bing.
And can I see your ID, please?
Certainly.
In this first part, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's talk about the place where you live. What kind of town or city do you live in?
I live in a very industrial town with a population of about 2 million people. Although it's very industrial, there are a few historical areas.
Would you recommend your town to visitors?
To be honest, I don't really think I would recommend my town to visitors.
Why not?
Because there is not a lot of things to see, and the historical areas I just mentioned are not very interesting or beautiful or worth coming to my city to see.
How has the place where you live changed in recent years?
EQ IELTS warm-up questions 1. Recommending your hometown.
Warm-up questions 1.
It's very common during IELTS speaking tests that the examiner will ask you about your hometown and whether you would recommend that visitors go to see it.
Be prepared to answer the following questions.
Location.
Where do you come from?
Where do you live?
Which part of your country do you come from?
You and your hometown.
How long have you lived there?
Have your family lived in the same hometown all your life?
Describing your hometown.
Can you tell me about your hometown?
Could you describe your hometown?
What kind of town or city do you come from?
Recommending.
Would you recommend your hometown to visitors?
What would you recommend visitors to your hometown to see or do?
To answer these questions, Just be prepared to provide simple details about your hometown and reasons to support your opinions where appropriate.
Now test how well you would answer these questions by moving on to the exercise that follows.
Hello, do you have a cell phone with you?
No, I left it with the supervisor.
Okay, thank you. Now, can you take a seat here, please? Could you tell me your full name, please?
My name is Li Fen.
Can I see your ID?
Sure.
In this first part, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's talk about what you do. Do you work or are you a student?
I'm working. I graduated 2 years ago.
What type of job do you do?
I work as an administrative assistant for a Spanish language school.
How long have you been doing that job?
I've been in this job for about 6 months, and before that I was working in an art gallery doing some translation and interpretation.
Would you recommend your job to anyone else?
Yes, I would. I think my job is exciting, interesting, and constantly changing. There are always new challenges, and I always meet new people. For outgoing people with confidence, I'd certainly recommend my job.
What do you like most about the job that you do?
EQ IELTS Warm-Up Questions 2. Recommending your job.
Warm-up questions 2.
If you confirm that you are working, another type of recommend question that the examiner might ask you is whether you would recommend your job to others.
Be prepared for the following kinds of questions.
Would you recommend your job to others?
Would you recommend your profession to other people?
Would you recommend your job as a good choice for new graduates?
What type of people would you recommend your job to?
The examiner may follow up with questions such as why or why not, depending on your answer.
Now, test how well you would answer these questions by moving on to the exercise that follows. The topic for parts 2 and 3 of this lesson's mock IELTS test is wealth, money and business.
To help you better prepare for this mock IELTS test, move on to the following page to review some native speaker words which are useful when discussing this topic.
To invest.
To invest.
Verb. The act of putting money, time and effort into something in order to benefit in the future.
Currently, lots of people are investing their money in property because property prices have continually risen for the past few years. Whether these are sound investments or not, only time will tell.
Pension.
Pension.
Noun. The money one receives from a company and or the government after retirement.
My mother's always telling me to start my own pension scheme so that I'll have a reliable source of income when I get old.
Benefits.
Benefits.
Noun. The things that employees receive from their company in addition to their salary, such as medical insurance, pension scheme and holiday allowance.
More and more international companies offer valuable benefits to their employees.
Profit.
Profit.
Noun. The money that remains after a company has paid all of its staff's wages, the costs of production and materials, etc.
Although companies such as Honda and Ford receive a tremendous amount of money every year from the cars they sell, daily is high because of the high production costs of manufacturing cars.
To inherit.
To inherit.
Verb. To receive property, such as money or houses, from somebody after they die.
Last year, my friend inherited a small fortune from his grandmother. He's planning on using the money to start his own business.
Start-up company.
Start-up company.
Noun. A small business that only started recently.
It's amazing to think that just over 10 years ago, in 1998, Google was a start-up company.
Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
Noun. Somebody who starts a new business.
I don't think people can be trained to be entrepreneurs. People are entrepreneurs because that's their personality. They want to go out into the world and make a name for themselves.
Market.
Market.
Noun. The group of people or place where a product could be sold.
In recent years, the market for mobile phones has grown to include virtually everyone in the world.
Contact or contacts.
Contact or contacts.
Noun. A person or people in powerful or high positions who can help you achieve what you want to do.
It's said that to have a successful business, you need 3 things: contacts, money, and knowledge.
You're about to have a mock IELTS test in which parts 2 and 3 are based on the topic of wealth, money and business.
Before you connect to your EQ native speaker trainer, we'd like you to make some notes on the following.
Business people.
The qualities a good business person should have.
Business people you admire.
Concepts of success and achievement in your society.
Companies and businesses.
The advantages of owning your own business.
The advantages of working from home.
Employment rights and working values in your society.
Financial planning and inheriting money.
How people plan for the future in your society.
Banks and savings, mortgages and house buying.
Inheriting money and inheritance tax.
Make sure you make notes on the above topics, because your trainer is sure to ask you about them during your mock IELTS test interaction. Get ready! You are about to connect to your EQ trainer for a one-on-one lesson based on what you've reviewed and practiced today. Please make sure
you are somewhere with a fast and stable internet connection. If you use your phone, that you have a good clear signal and plenty of battery. You are sitting in front of a computer in a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Good luck!